The headline feature on the S26 Ultra, at least for me, is not the annual spec bump. It is in fact the 6.9-inch AMOLED display equipped with what Samsung is calling Flex Magic Pixels. That's the marketing speak for this crazy cool baked-in privacy screen that you can toggle on and off, and even customize to certain pop-ups and apps. That's neat and all while it works, but what happens if the screen breaks or the battery wears out? Would you be able to fix an S26 Ultra? Let's find out. This teardown is going to start with the most accessible component in all Ultra devices, the S Pen. The S Pen's got a bit of a weird history, which you might remember from last year's teardown. In previous versions like the S24 Ultra, the S Pen could take actions on your phone remotely. Take photos, pause a video, advance slides, that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. But last year Samsung stripped that out, but our teardown proved that the S25 Ultra's S Pen still had all the circuitry for remote function intact, which is really weird. It does seem like Samsung's picked a lane though. This year's S Pen has a rounded corner so it only fits in one way and the internals are noticeably sparse. Air actions don't seem to be coming back, so if you love Hover Translate on your S24 Ultra, you better keep that thing alive. The phone is the usual Samsung Ultra design of recent years, so I'm plonking it on its back on a heat mat, except that the camera bulges thick. Check out that wobble. I'll need to let old tripod here hang off the corner of the mat to get the heat evenly dispersed across the back. As soon as it's toasty warm, I can let Clampy do its thing. Suction cups in place, clamp locked, and slowly turn till I have an entry point under the back glass. Slide the pick in, and the anti-clamp comes away. Like the 17 Pros, which this phone will be competing with, the S26 Ultra only opens from one side. The display connector for the S26 Ultra screen can only be accessed through the back panel. That sucks because it means a broken screen necessitates gutting the entire device to place it in a new chassis. My goal, as always, is to simulate the highest priority repair in a device, in this case a battery swap. To get to the battery comfortably, I need to remove the lower speaker so I can disconnect the interconnect cables trapped underneath. Now that those are out the way, I'm greeted by the beautiful sight of Samsung's simple but extremely effective battery release mechanism, a lithium polymer cell swaddled in a glue-lined plastic embrace. The sight of it melts my heart, and that's all that's melting because this glue just peels away by hand. Just beautiful. A+ for the battery removal process, arguably better than Apple's solution for sheer simplicity. But what about that USB-C port? As I complained at length in the iPhone 17e teardown, charge ports are a high wear component, one that's painfully buried in the 17e. In that video, some viewers pointed out that a lot of the time, a phone that's not charging right just needs its port cleaned out. That's absolutely true. Pocket lint loves to find its way into ports, and you jam it in deeper every time you stick a charge cable in there. We've got cleaning kits to help with that, but still, ports aren't made to last forever. Those USB-C ports in particular are designed and tested for a certain number of mating cycles, ranging from 1500 to as high as 20,000, and engineers will select a port most likely to last for several years. We hope. Wireless charging is a great backup option as far as I'm concerned. Still, the fastest rate of charge and the most accessible means of charging is through a wire, so for a great number of people, this port is going to see a lot of use and will eventually fail. And it's with that in mind that I think the ease of removing and replacing the modular port in recent Samsung Galaxy phones should be celebrated. It really doesn't get much better than this. So what do I care about next? These motherboards are pretty hardy and a board swap is rare but sometimes necessary, but the cameras it's attached to can fail and may need to be replaced. Samsung's flagship phones are all designed like this. The main board comes away and the cameras are all connected from underneath. It's really not a terrible design, just note that you'll need to replace the thermal paste when you're reassembling. As for the cameras themselves, we have the 50 megapixel f1.9 ultra-wide up top, the 200 megapixel f1.4 main camera with 2x optical zoom, the 50 megapixel f2.9 telephoto with 5x optical zoom, and a 10 megapixel f2.4 telephoto with 3x optical zoom. For the main board, we have a PCB sandwich that contains the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 system on chip, incorporating Qualcomm's X85 5G modem and 12GB of RAM on this 256GB model. The 1TB model incorporates 16GB of LPDDR5X. Before I move on to the screen, take a look at this selfie camera. Glued in with a ridiculous amount of adhesive. Even after heating it up, it's still a pain to remove. And if you're wondering why that's so bad, here's what happened when one of our experienced teardown engineers removed the camera. It's not guaranteed to happen, but 60% of the time it'll happen every time. Now let's take a closer look at that fancy new screen with the baked-in privacy display. Samsung already gave us an explainer, complete with animations stating that a subset of pixels are surrounded by a structure that restricts the angle at which light can escape. That means you can only see those pixels if you're looking at the screen more or less head on. When privacy mode is on, only that subset of pixels are active, severely restricting the angle of view. The phone then makes these pixels light up brighter to offset the off pixels. That's all great, but what about when the privacy display is turned off? Well, the rest of the pixels are just normal pixels. They'll turn on and function alongside the subset of pixels that enable privacy mode. And if you're wondering, the privacy screens that double as screen protectors work in a similar fashion, except they use micro-louver construction to do the exact same thing. They restrict the angle at which light can escape. It's a much cheaper solution, but where the S26 Ultra excels is in its on-demand application that can apply to a whole screen or individual elements of a screen. And with that, it's time to pop the screen off. Here we go, apply 110 Celsius, that's roughly the equivalent of baking a banana for 3 seconds over a pit of lava for you non-metric types, and then using a heavy suction cup. Heave! I can hear the glue give way, but it's not the glue I want to give way. It separated the screen. Get the heat gun, this screen is toast, so there's no point pussyfooting about. And believe it or not, it still won't budge easily until... This right here, children, is why we don't remove the screen on Samsung phones. That's gonna smart when it comes to scoring time, which is right now. It's gonna smart right now. The S26 Ultra is a pretty spectacular bit of tech, and for the first time in a long time, it's given us some new tech that's worth eyeing and umming over. That privacy screen is technically fascinating and genuinely useful for anyone who loves looking at corgis on the subway. You weirdos. But let's take a moment to check in on the repairability of this $1,300 phone. Starting with the good, I love the battery swaddle of these phones. It's an excellent bit of tech that outdoes Apple's electrically releasing adhesive purely because it needs nothing more than your fingernails to perform. The modular USB-C port is also excellent and makes for an equally uncomplicated repair, and the camera assembly, while a little more buried than I'd like, is still very accessible. I also love the fact that the back cover comes away without any cables attached. It's a far more forgiving design to accidental slips. And now for the bad, starting with the most egregious of Samsung's failures, their repair ecosystem and the fact that Samsung isn't taking repair seriously. So we're not taking Samsung seriously. The offering of replacement parts is both spotty and an utterly unpleasant experience. I don't think I need to do more than quote this excerpt from Samsung's official repair website. Introducing the Samsung Galaxy S25 smartphone replacement part GH02-25580A. There's no picture and there's no explanation as to what this part is. WTF, Samsung? As for the hardware itself, that selfie camera isn't designed to be removed easily, and the possibility of damaging the expensive screen is just not worth the risk of trying to replace it. And speaking of that screen, it's an absolute beast of a repair if you're only removing the screen, and an unnecessarily wasteful and overly complex process if you're replacing the entire chassis and screen as a combo. With all this in mind, the S26 Ultra receives a middle-of-the-road provisional 5 out of 10 on our smartphone repairability scale. For what it's worth, if Samsung were to sort out their abysmal replacement parts and manuals experience, this would have scored a 6 out of 10, bringing it on a par with the Pixel 10 and 1 point shy of the latest line of iPhones. For me, I say, get to work, Samsung.